Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter simplex method. We have already solved some problems using simplex method. In those problems, the constants or the inequalities were less equal to type. Now in this part, we shall consider some problems where in constants the inequalities are greater or equal to type. These type of problems can be solved by using big M method. So in this part we shall solve linear programming problem by using big M method. So let us start the solution. So this is the given problem, minimize z equal to 2x1 plus x2 subject to two constraint 8x1 plus 5x2 greater or equal to 50 and x1 plus x2 greater or equal to 7, where x1 and x2 are greater or equal to 0. Now to solve this problem, we first convert this problem to a maximization problem. For that, if we replace z star equal to minus z, then we know that minimization of z, this will be minus of max of minus z. That means minus of max z star. So instead of finding minimization of z, we shall find maximization of z star, and after that we shall multiply it by minus 1 to get minimum value of z. And if we look at the constraint, we find that the inequalities are greater or equal to type. So in this case we can't add slack variables, therefore we have to subtract some positive quantity from the left hand side of the inequalities. These variables will be called surplus variables. So if we subtract a surplus variable, we call it x3. So we are subtracting a surplus variable x3 from the left hand side of the first constraint. So then it becomes equal to 50. And for the second constraint, we subtract one more surplus variable, we call it x4, such that it becomes x1 plus x2 minus x4 equal to 7. Now here x3 and x4, these two are called surplus variables, where x1, x2, x3, x4, these are all greater or equal to 0. We write the objective function, that is max z star, this is equal to minus 2x1 minus x2 plus 0 into x3 plus 0 into x4, because z star equal to minus z. So this is the modified problem. We have to find the maximum of z star subject to these two equations. As usual, we have to select some initial unit basis vectors. Now since there are two equations, so we have to select two initial unit basis vectors. But if we look carefully, we find that there are no unit vectors in the equations. This vector is minus 1 0 and this coefficient vector is 0 minus 1. So there are no unit basis vectors. Therefore we have to introduce two artificial variables such that we can get unit basis vectors. So let us introduce an artificial variable x5 in the first constraint, and we introduce one more artificial variable x6 for the second equation or second constraint, such that x5, x6 both are greater or equal to 0, and these are artificial variables. So now we have unit basis vectors for the artificial variables x5 and x6. These unit basis vectors are 1 0 and 0 1. So now we have to modify the objective function. Now x5 and x6, these two are artificial variables, so we do not want these variables at the final step. If the problem has finite optimal solution, then these artificial variables x5 and x6 will be eliminated before we reach the final stage. In BGAME method, the cost values of x5 and x6, these are assumed as minus m and minus m, where m is a very large positive quantity. So m is very large positive quantity which tends to plus infinity. So if the problem has a finite optimal solution, then obviously x5 and x6 will be 0, because if x5 and x6 are positive, then maximization of z will be tends to minus infinity, which is not feasible. So at the final solution stage, we expect that x5 and x6 will be 0. That means x5 and x6 will be eliminated from the basis vectors. Although we are starting with these two variables x5 and x6 such that a5 and a6, these are unit basis vectors, but at the final stage we expect that these two vectors will be eliminated from the basis. So let us start the solution. Now remember that the coefficient vectors are a1, a2, a3, a4, a5 and a6, where a1 equal to 8, 1, a2 5, 1, a3 minus 1, 0, a4 0 minus 1, a5 1, 0 and a6 0, 1. This is the b vector 57, and the cost vector, this is minus 2, minus 1, 0, 0, minus m, where m is a large positive quantity. So let us construct the simplex table. So this is the initial simplex table. These are the coefficient vectors a1, a2, a3, a4, a5, a6. We have put the values of these coefficient vectors. This is the b vector, this is the cost vector, and a5, a6. These two are initial unit basis vectors, and the cost values of these two unit vectors are minus m and minus m. So now we shall compute zj minus cj, and let us check whether optimality condition is satisfied or not. So we compute zj minus cj. Now the formula is, it will be minus m into 8 plus minus m into 1 minus 2. So it is minus 9m plus 2. Next one, it is 5 into minus m plus 1 into minus m minus of minus 1. That means minus 6m plus 1. Next, this one will be minus m into minus 1 plus this into this minus 0. So it is plus m. Similarly, this will be minus m into 0 plus minus m into minus 1 minus 0. So which is plus m again. Next, this will be 0 minus m into 1 minus m minus of minus m. So it is 0. Finally, this will be again 0. This into this plus this into this minus this. So we have computed all the values of zj minus cj. Now here we find that there are two negative values. Since m is a large positive quantity, so this value and this value, these two are negative values. So out of these two values, we have to find the value which is most negative, and here we find that this value is most negative. So we select this value. That means the variable x1 or the vector a1 will enter the basis. Now we have to identify which vector will leave the basis. For that we have to compute mean ratio. To find mean ratio, we have to find the ratios, which will be 50 by 8 and 7 by 1. So we have two ratios, out of which we have to find the minimum one, and we easily find that this is the minimum 50 by 8. That means a5, this vector will leave the basis. So a5 will leave the basis and a1 will enter the basis. So at the intersection of this row and this column, the element is 8. So this is the key element. So in the next step, the basis vectors are a1 and a6, because a5 is replaced by a1. Corresponding cost values are minus 2 and minus m. Now we have to make this element as 1. To make it 1, we have to divide this row by 8. So if we divide this row by 8, then we get, it is 50 by 8, it is 8 by 8 1, it is 5 by 8, it is minus 1 by 8, it is 0 by 8, so 0, it is 1 by 8. And next we have to make this element 0. So this element can be made 0 if we apply the operation R2 dash is equal to R2 minus 1 by 8 into R1. Now we have already computed R1 by 8. So this can be made 0 if we apply the row operation this row minus this row, because this row is nothing but 1 by 8 of this row. So we apply this operation, this row minus this row. Then this element will be 7 minus 50 by 8, which is 6 by 8. This element will be 0. It will be 1 minus 5 by 8, so 3 by 8. This will be 0 minus this, so 1 by 8. It will be minus 1 minus 0, so minus 1. It will be 0 minus 1 by 8, so minus 1 by 8. And finally this one will be 1 minus 0, so 1. Next we compute Zj minus Cj. The first value is minus 2 plus 0 minus of minus 2, that is 0. This one minus 2 into 5 by 8 plus minus m into 3 by 8 minus of minus 1. So it is minus 3 by 8 m minus 1/4. This one, it is 2 by 8 minus m by 8 minus 0. So minus m by 8 plus 1 by 4. Next this one, this will be minus 2 into 0 plus m minus 0. So plus m. This one will be minus 1 by 4 plus m by 8 plus m. So 9 by 8 m minus 1 by 4. And finally this one will be 0. So we have computed all the values of Zj minus Cj. So there are two values of Zj minus Cj which are negative, out of which we have to find the most negative one. We find that this is the most negative value. That means the vector A2 will enter the basis. Now we have to find out the vector which will leave the basis. For that we shall again compute mean ratios. The first ratio will be 50 by 8 by 5 by 8. So 50 by 8 divided by 5 by 8, which is 10. The next ratio is 6 by 8 by 3 by 8. 6 by 8 by 3 by 8, which is 2. So here we find that 2 is minimum. So 2 is the mean ratio. That means the vector A6 will leave the basis. So this will be the key element. In the next step, the basis vectors will be A1 and A2 with corresponding cost values are minus 2 and minus 1. Now to make this key element 1, we have to multiply this row by 8 by 3. So if we multiply this row by 8 by 3, then the elements of this row becomes 8 by 6 by 8 into 8 by 3, which is 2. It is 0. It will be 1. If we multiply this by 8 by 3, it will be 1 by 3. It will be minus 8 by 3. It will be minus 1 by 3, and this is 8 by 3. Next we have to make this element 0 by using this key element. That means we can make this element 0 if we apply this row operation R1 star. This will be R1 minus 5 by 3 into R2. If we apply this row operation, then we can easily find that the elements of this row are given by this. Now again you have to find Zj minus Cj. If we compute the values of Zj minus Cj, we can easily find that the values are 0, 0, 1 by 3, minus 2 by 3, m minus 1 by 3, and m plus 2 by 3, out of which only this one is negative, because m is a very large positive quantity, so this is positive. So only one value is negative. So we have to select this element. So we have to find the mean ratio. Now here we find that the first ratio will be 5 by 5 by 3. So 5 by 5 by 3, which is 3. And the next ratio is 2 by minus of this. Now this ratio is negative, so we shall not consider this ratio. So there is only one ratio, that means this is the mean ratio. So this element will be the key element. So the vector a1 will leave the basis and the vector a4 will enter the basis. So we need one more table. For simplicity, we have written the previous table again. So this was our previous table and this is the key element. So the vector a1 will leave the basis and the vector a4 will enter the basis. So we write the new basis a4, a2 with the corresponding cost values. Now we have to make this element 1. That means we have to apply the row operation r1 star equal to r1 into 3 by 5. If we multiply this row by 3 by 5, then we can make this element 1. So let us multiply all the elements of this row by 3 by 5. Then this will be 3, because 5 into 3 by 5 is 3. It will be 3 by 5, 0. It will be minus 1 by 5. It is 1. It is 1 by 5 and it is minus 1. Now to make this element 0, we need to apply this row operation r2 star equal to r2 plus 8 by 5 into r1. If we apply this row operation, then r2 star will be r2 plus 8 by 5 into r1, then it will be 0. Now using this row operation, we compute all the remaining elements of this row. Using this row operation, we have already obtained all the elements of this row. Now we find Zj minus Cj. Then this value will be 0 into this minus 8 by 5 plus 2. So 2 minus 8 by 5, that is 2 by 5. This one will be 0. This one will be 0 into this plus 1 by 5 minus 0. So 1 by 5. This will be 0. This one will be minus 1 by 5 plus m. So m minus 1 by 5. And this one will be 0, 0 minus of minus m, that is plus m. So here we have obtained all the values of Zj minus Cj. Now here we find that all the values of Zj minus Cj are non-negative, because m minus 1 by 5 is positive, since m is a very large positive quantity. So all the values of Zj minus Cj, these are non-negative. Therefore the optimality condition is satisfied. Therefore this solution is optimum. Now we can find this value. Now this will be 0 into 3 minus 1 into 10, which is minus 10. So here we have obtained that max z star is equal to minus 10 at x2 equal to 10 and x4 equal to 3. And we know that mean z equal to minus of max z star. So mean z will be minus of minus 10, that is 10. Mean z equal to 10 at x2 equal to 10, and we shall not write x4 because x4 was surplus variable. So we need to write the values of x1 and x2 only. So x1 and x2 only. We have obtained that x2 equal to 10. But what is the value of x1? Here we find that the vector a1 is not included in the final basis. So the vector a1 corresponding to the variable x1 is a non-basic vector which is not included in the final basis. So the value of x1 will be 0. So this is the final answer. Minimum of z equal to 10 at x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 10. That completes the solution. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.